How long ago was Combat Stress set up, Robert?
Well, it's quite interesting because we were founded by women, actually, in London in 1919, so just after the end of the First World War.
Wow.
And these were women, and I think the important thing is that they were activists. They'd come from or seen the suffragette movement and all those sorts of things, but saw the waves and waves of veterans who had been fighting on the Western Front endure weeks, months, years sometimes of trench warfare, and saw these veterans coming back through London. And they went against the prevailing wind, which was to institutionalise, lock up these veterans in military asylums. And actually, so we've been going for 99 years. Next year will be our centenary.
This particular centenary, I thought it was very appropriate to reach out to you and think about how we can help people men coming back from the war, men and women coming back from the war, and deal with what they saw and the challenges they faced in everyday modern life.
Over the last decade, we've seen an almost 100% increase in the number of new veterans seeking help. And so if we look at our helpline, for example, 12,000 people rang the helpline last year, and that's got no filter on it. So it's not just veterans, it's family members, partners, children who ring up to either ask advice about how their loved one could seek help from us, or indeed to ask any other questions that they want around trauma-related mental health issues. But yeah, definitely the trend is going upwards.
And one of the most important things I've always thought was community, the sense of belonging, the relationships and the network you have. And I'm conscious of friends of mine who've been in the army where the bonds of community and relationships are so strong that when you then leave the army and also you have been through the traumatic experiences, good and bad, I'm sure there are some good ones as well, you are also then losing those bonds of the community which they were so used and reliant on.
And certainly transiting from military life into civilian life is for lots of people very difficult. But the vast majority of people who serve in the armed forces have an incredibly positive experience and leave the services and then go on to have a very positive civilian life as well. But there is a small, significant minority of people who struggle and with mental health problems, and those are the people that Combat Stress exists to look after.
Yeah, it was a very nervous time, to say the least. 5, 6 years ago, I reached out and managed to get an appointment, and through that a diagnosis for PTSD. And I was very quickly put onto a 2-week transdiagnostic treatment program, which was very beneficial. Gave you a few tools in that toolbox really to, help you manage your symptoms and highlight a little bit behind the mechanism behind what's causing this.
I thought the main thing is to feel you're not alone, isn't it?
Exactly, it's this big comradeship as well. There's a, it's like just being back in the army in a way, and it's like a familiar pair of shoes you're putting on.
So what does Heroes at Highclere mean to Combat Stress?
Well, I think there are a variety of things, but I think it gives people an opportunity to reflect on those anniversaries. And this is probably the last time that we're going to commemorate the First World War in that way, because it will then pass into history.
I thought altogether it was a great weekend to bring together, and a couple of different charities helping veterans and those who serve and those who save in a different way, and engage and speak to people and meet people and celebrate all they've done, as well as raise money to support.